In 2026, Trump's use of social media has escalated. As this is the US president, surely never has one social media account been so important to the world we live in. Which is why we've been looking closely at Trump's feed, sifting through thousands of posts on his platform Truth Social in search of the busiest day, the busiest hour, to see what patterns emerge. How often do you think Donald Trump posts on social media? How often a month or each day? What times does he post and what's he posting about? Yes, there's a lot on Venezuela and Iran, but there's much more than that too. We've had a post appearing to depict Trump as Jesus, memes about seizing Greenland, attacks on Bruce Springsteen and Robert De Niro. From January to April, by our count, he posted or reposted 2,457 times on Truth Social. That's an average of around 20 posts a day. And there's a range of content.
He uses the site for fleeting thoughts, for major policy announcements. He shares his fair allowance of AI slop and internet memes. And he also uses it to threaten allies or cajole adversaries.
As I was saying, the content is nothing if not varied. And we went looking for the busiest day and the busiest hour on Trump's feed. Take a look at January the 5th. While most Americans slept, their president was on a streak on social media. Between 1 and 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Trump reposted 64 times. 2 days earlier, the US had launched its raid on Venezuela. It seized President Maduro, took him to New York. And now, in the middle of the night, the president was reposting celebrations of Maduro's capture, criticism of Joe Biden's approach to Maduro, and praise for his own actions. And it wasn't just Venezuela on the president's mind. In this same single hour, there was a video of him calling for US control of Greenland, a clip of a congressman calling for a halt to all legal immigration, and unsubstantiated claims about voter fraud in the 2020 presidential election. Bear in mind, this was the eve of the 5th anniversary of the January the 6th riot, carried out by Trump supporters convinced that the election had been stolen, which it hadn't been. So the busiest hour was on January the 5th. The busiest day, well, that's January the 23rd. There were 120 posts and reposts, including endorsements of candidates for Congress, a statement after attending the World Economic Forum, and with a cold snap forecast in the US, the president asked, could the environmental insurrectionists please explain whatever happened to global warming? That was the busiest day. Before that, we saw the busiest hour. But here's the thing. Trump is active on social media almost all the time. You can see that here. We've broken the data down into hours of the day. The president does pause in the depths of the night. Between 3 and 4, a calm comes over his feed. Beyond that, he's posting at all hours. But 1 hour is busier than the rest, by far. 9 till 10 p.m. is when Trump posts the most, according to our count. Now, as I tell you all of this, you might be thinking, well, how do we get to this point, with this technology being used in this way by the President of America? Well, to explain that, I'm afraid I'm going to show my age. The first US election I covered was 2004. Some of you will be too young to remember this, but President Bush secured a second term, defeating John Kerry. I was part of the BBC's coverage on election night from this radio studio. As you can see in this picture, my hair was a little longer back in the noughties, and while I appear not to have had access to a decent hairdresser, I also didn't have access to Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram. None of them existed during that election. In 2004, we were using phones like this, and they weren't much help to politicians trying to get their message out. 4 years later, I was in the US for the next presidential election, Barack Obama versus John McCain. To cover this, the BBC got a tour bus. Yeah, we really did do that. Apparently, Iron Maiden had also used this bus, though I'm definitely not 100% sure on that. By this point, the iPhone had arrived, and so had social media. But we were just at the start of seeing what this meant for politics. 4 years later, 2012, I was back in the US for Obama's re-election, including visits to a factory, a turkey farm, a rooftop bar, and this beautiful hall in Boston too. This time, social media was at full tilt. Facebook and Twitter were global platforms. Politicians, and millions of us, were using them. Like lots of journalists, I was tweeting as I covered the campaign. In this case, as you can see, asking for advice for the drive from Cleveland to Chicago. A lot of fields is my main memory of that one. In this election, social media wasn't the main thing for politicians, but its potential to shape politics was clear. Also around this time, a US businessman was using Twitter regularly and generating a lot of attention. Here's Donald Trump tweeting false claims about Obama's birth certificate. He'd do so repeatedly. And yes, his tweets of course brought criticism and controversy, but they also brought a lot of coverage too. And Trump continued. He was showing how potent a social media account could be, not just by increasing his celebrity, though it was definitely doing that. It was politically potent too. Which leads us to 2015. When Donald Trump and Melania Trump famously came down the escalator in Trump Tower, Trump was running for president. From the start, he used Twitter to promote his candidacy, his policies, his grievances. No politician had done it like this. Needless to say, it worked. Trump won the presidency. And it is very hard, perhaps even impossible, to imagine Trump so successfully upturning American politics and winning power without social media.
He used it creatively, effectively. It was his superpower. It got him great attention. He was able to dominate the news cycle. He could control the agenda, and he could bypass the legacy media. So it was a win-win for Donald Trump.
But after his first term, where Trump posted on social media, well, that would change. Despite the advantages of being in power, in the 2020 election, Trump was defeated by Joe Biden. And on election night itself, he made this claim.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
Trump repeatedly claimed on social media and elsewhere that the election had been stolen from him. And just to reiterate, there's no evidence that that's the case. But 2 months after his defeat, Trump supporters rioted on January the 6th. In response, Trump was kicked off Twitter, suspended by Facebook. Both said his posts could incite further violence, something he rejected. But his accounts were gone, and for a while, that was that. There was this, a website called From the Desk of Donald J. Trump. No, I don't remember it either. Anyway, it didn't last long. Next came Truth Social, launched by Trump in 2022. This was his platform. He set the rules, and he was soon surrounded by supporters. That same year, Elon Musk bought Twitter, and in time, he reinstated Trump's account, but he rarely uses it. The same, as we've been seeing, is definitely not true of Truth Social, and though it's a far smaller platform, we're all keeping our eyes on the feed. Ever since he started on Twitter years back, Trump has used social media to place himself center stage, and while of course the center of the stage kind of comes with the job, doesn't it, if you're US president, social media is more important than ever to how Trump operates. His feed matters to him, it matters to us too, which is just how he would have it. So we've looked at how the president is posting, and we've looked at how social media became more and more important to Trump. But there is something else as well that means Trump's feed matters more than ever. And that's that Trump is particularly powerful right now. Yes, of course, all US presidents are powerful, but this is different. Trump has a team of loyalists in all key roles in his administration. These are people picked to be on side. As well as that, both houses of Congress are controlled by the Republicans. They too rarely go against the president. That means if Trump wants it to happen, it probably will. And where does he tell us what he wants to happen or what is happening? More often than not, social media.
The United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation.
Trump announced the start of the Iran war in a video that he posted. And he's posted all the way through the conflict. Here's the Wall Street Journal on this. It says, never before as a US president, the world's most powerful figure telegraphed his thoughts about war planning so publicly. Trump has offered an almost non-stop commentary, and it's not always been consistent. In the first weeks of the war, I was in Washington, and along with everyone else, I was trying to decipher the president's statements. During this war, social media has arguably been his main way to communicate. For example, take the Strait of Hormuz. You'll have seen it in the news a lot. It's a crucial transit point for oil and gas, and Iran shut it after the war started, which is having major implications for the prices we all pay for energy. And on April the 5th, Trump threatened the Iranians, saying, and I've missed out a couple of words here, open the strait or you'll be living in hell, just watch. 2 days later, having set a deadline, Trump threatened a whole civilization will die tonight. And as that deadline was approaching, we were all hitting refresh on the president's feed to try and see what would happen next. Sure enough, a post arrived, announcing a ceasefire. All of this puts Trump's social media center stage, and there are consequences of doing things this way, not least for the markets. These are where different aspects of the global economy are traded. They can move in response to a single post. Here's one, announcing a US naval blockade of Iran. That sent oil prices surging. One post can have consequences worth billions. And there's an unpredictability here that the markets, other countries, all of us have to live with, because while one Trump post can make something sound certain, the next post may signal the reverse. And in and amongst all the updates on war, politics and policy, there is a lot else besides, because for better or for worse, there's a reason Trump's feed has such an impact. In some ways, it's offering exactly the type of content that succeeds on social media. Conflict, opinion, controversy, humor, disagreement, trolling, exaggeration, memes, the unexpected, the consequential, the outrageous. Trump does all of this. In April, there was an AI image appearing to depict Trump as Jesus Christ. He later deleted this after a backlash. There was an AI image of a Trump tower on the moon. An edited picture captioned Bruce Springsteen prior to plastic surgery. Springsteen's a Trump critic. And a post accusing Pope Leo of being weak on crime. To a degree, this is all priced in with Trump. After all, we're over 10 years into his style of politics, but just because it's normal for Trump doesn't mean it's normal. When the former head of the FBI, Robert Mueller, died in March, Trump posted, "Good." Mueller led the investigation into whether Trump's 2016 campaign had links to Russia. Late one night, Trump reposted a racist video about the Obamas, before later deleting it and saying he didn't see the part in question. He then said a staffer had reposted it. And there was this Uno meme about the Iran war, with Trump claiming he holds all the cards, though if we're going to get into the details, and it looks like I am, as any Uno player knows, getting rid of your cards is the name of the game, so holding all of them would normally lead to defeat. Though we should say Trump is definitely a wild card, proudly so. He sees his unpredictability as a strength. I could give you more examples of his posts. There are many to choose from. Like this image, as Trump promises to improve the reflecting pool in Washington. By the time you're watching this video, no doubt there will be much more too. In his posts, sometimes Trump tells us exactly what he's going to do. It's direct presidential communication. But also in his feed, he mixes the fake and the real, the true and the false, the funny and the insulting. He shares policies that may last or may change the next day. He keeps us guessing, and it keeps coming. As we got ready to record this video, we checked in one more time on Trump's feed. Once more, there had been an evening burst of activity. He reposted unsubstantiated claims Barack Obama attempted a coup in 2016 and that Obama made millions from Obamacare. He reposted a claim that Obama wiretapped Trump Tower and a post calling Obama a demonic force. There's also repost after repost, making unsubstantiated claims about the 2020 election. One calls Joe Biden a fake president. With any other politician, you'd imagine there would be an enormous outcry if they were reposting this type of content. For Trump, it's just another night on his phone, doing what he's done for years to great political success. Social media allows Trump to create his own world and to shape ours too. And with each post, we learn where next he may take America and the rest of us.